So we're going to introduce our new chair. So hopefully some of you guys have actually seen us at the OT show back in November. But essentially, here's our chair. As you can see, it's mobile. Moves really, really easily. I know I'm on a super slick floor, but we've got a 5-inch twin wheel caster that, as you can see, look, it really moves nicely. Now these wheels, they lock on the swivel as well as a brake, so that they really don't move. So that if you're going to be doing any transfers and you need to lock the position, it really holds it well. So we've got tilting space. As you can see here, I can lock it off in any position I like. So it's sort of multi-positional. So you'll be familiar with that. I think most of you guys tend to call it TIS, don't you? Tilting space. So then you've got full recline as well, which again, you can lock off at any position. You can work them both together so you can achieve that perfect position for the user. We've got the leg rest as well, which is adjustable again. So literally when you pull the lever, every time you touch the lever, it will move. So you can achieve some really nice sort of sleeping and sitting out positions. Now we've also got the option here that you can open the wings and the arms. I'm going to show you some of the relevance of that kind of later in this presentation when we get on to using a sling. But it does mean that you've got really good side access. That might be that you just need to check positioning of maybe an in-situ sling. Like I said, what we're going to be doing later is actually doing that process, and I can kind of show you. But it does mean that either way, you've got access to check. Or you could be alongside a bed in a more sort of sleeping position, and you can do a side transfer. Obviously, if you're going to be doing that, you do need to be using the beds that are the high-low, because you're going to have to bring the bed to the chair position. So I'm just going to bring the chair back up into a seating position now. I can come around this side just so that I'm not stood in front of the camera, but I'm going to get the chair positioned there. So all contact areas of the chair is an air system. So we've got a headrest here, which is adjustable in length, so you can get that, but I'm just going to put that out of the way for this. So I can't tell you or show you maybe on screen how soft and how amazing this feels. So this is medium to high risk pressure care, and it feels incredibly good. Super, super comfy. So I'm just going to put that headrest back in position. I can show you this headrest. You'll notice that it's on a couple of straps here. So if I go around the back here at the moment, these straps meet Velcro. So you can adjust this really easily to bring the headrest down or higher, so you can get it out of the way. Actually, while I'm in this position, all of the covers on the chair are removable. Everything's on Velcro. So if anything gets damaged, like generally it's the wings and the arms that tends to get knocked going through doorways. So actually on the doorway point, it's really worth mentioning that the chair that we've chose has got an overall width of 26 inches. So that means that standard doorways, which are normally about 29 inches, the chair goes through really, really easy. So for OTs, let's say, or anybody that's going to be using these in a home environment, it means that no home adaptations need to be done. So we've got a few accessories that we can put with the chair as well. We've got a meal tray. A meal tray, you can see these holes here. These meet up with these bars here, and they just slide in. And the meal tray is adjustable forward to back. Really, really good for activities. I mean, not just having perhaps a cup of tea on. Great if it's used in a sort of perhaps a nursing home environment, and the user wants to do a jigsaw or be involved in even reading a book. Just something that's good. We've got a footrest or a foot plate. This actually goes in the bottom down here, and it gives you this much travel, which is 10 inches of travel effectively in and out of the bottom of the chair, so you can actually put someone's feet on the chair. And I know certainly sort of like, say, some of the OTs that I've worked with, it seems to be that it actually helps for a connection with the user in the chair, that they actually feel connected when they've got their feet on the footrest. So that can be really, really good. We do a lap belt as well that we can do with the chair. Very easily fitted. That tends to be used probably more in sort of maybe a nursing home environment where somebody might have might be in a situation where they would potentially come out of the chair if they didn't have a belt. So there, yeah, that's pretty much, I think, all I can show you about the chair. I've mentioned the covers. All of the covers come off. All really, really easy to take off and refit. All wipe clean. As long as you're alcohol free, all of the buddy wipes or antibac sprays really, really clean the chair well. And obviously on a cleaning point, having...
hang on, what's up? What's going on?
Having access to the side also gives you an opportunity to perhaps find or clean any debris down the side, which tends to find its way down the side of the chair. So the air system is a series of airbags that all overlock each other. There's 5 in the chair. So the idea is when pressure is applied, it transfers the air into the next or over to the next airbag. And if you can imagine that if it was a bag suspended with only a small amount of air at the bottom, when pressure is applied to that bag, there's plenty of room in the bag for the air to displace. Effectively, that's how the whole system works. So we've got air right at the bottom and then a 2-inch layer of memory foam over the top. So the height the chair is at is something that we've worked quite a lot to achieve. It's so that all of the hoists on the market can actually fit under the chair really easily. So I don't know if you guys can see. Let me just check that in the window there. So yeah, we've got really, really easy access there. So mobile hoists could all come through it. You can actually, some of the stand aids as well also work with the chair. Although we think potentially most users will be hoisted in. So any questions at this point? Maybe as there's an opportunity just to see if we've got any questions coming through.
We do have a couple, Andy.
Okay.
The first one is the footrest angle adjustable?
It's not angle adjustable, no, it's fixed. It does have the option there to flip up. Make sure you can see that on the screen there. So yeah, so I'm guessing what you're asking is if it comes that way, and unfortunately it doesn't.
Okay, next question. The chair looks great. What is the max user weight and max internal seat width?
Okay, so user weight for this chair is 180 kilos, which I believe is about 26 stone. Am I right? Yeah, sort of ballpark. Internal measurements, I'll tell you what, let me just grab a tape for you and I can show you this right now. So what we've got here, that's a 19 seat width. The seat depth on this, there isn't really a defined sort of edge. But if we sort of said maybe the front of the arm as a sort of measuring point, we've got sort of 18 now. I don't know if you can see that. But given how soft this chair is, I don't think kind of like your usual sort of measurements that you would normally be doing on a chair assessment for something sort of bespoke would apply. So, any more questions?
What level of pressure relief does it offer as standard?
Okay, so it's set, and we'd rather that nobody gets into the pockets. You have got access to some valves throughout the chair. Now it's medium to high risk. And when I say we'd rather not have anybody, there's been a lot of effort that's gone into kind of achieving almost the perfect feel and performance for where we are right now. I don't know, did we freeze then? Are we still good?
That's good.
Yeah, so we'd rather not anybody get into it. What's actually happened in the past in some instances that people have got in there, looked at the chair and thought, looks like it could do with some more air, and they've overfilled it. So yeah, if anybody's got one of these in the future and they think it needs more air, please talk to us.
What is the floor to top of seat height?
The floor to top of seat. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do this. I'm going to open that just to give myself a little bit more access. So the highest point, I don't know if we can say that highest point is here and the lowest point here. Let's just check this one now. We said 22 at the front edge. Hang on, I think I'm going to have to go down here to do that. Yeah, it drops down to 20 at the back, but you can see that there's a little bit of a fall there.
Does the chair come in different seat widths?
It doesn't. However, what I will do is when we've finished these questions, I'm going to move on to another couple of accessories that we've got for the chair, which are the bolsters. And that might actually help answer some of those questions, because we're going to be able to use the bolster for lateral support and just more sort of positioning roles. So if we've got somebody a little bit more slight that would wind sweep to one side or the other, we can drop the bolsters in. But I'll just check any more questions before, and then I'll go on to that.
Is it possible to dismantle or have the chair delivered and assemble into client's home that isn't wide enough?
Absolutely, I don't see why not. There's not a lot involved in taking it off. Let's just have a look at. Okay, so I don't know if you can actually see that from there, but there's a pivot point there. You might see it more if I'm actually rotating the chair. Effectively, if that bolt was taken out and the gas struts on the back, these were taken apart at the top, effectively it would come off the frame. So it's not, it wouldn't be a problem to do that if we needed to.
Someone else has asked, could you show us the air system inside and discuss the air system?
What I could do with that particular person, if they could drop that on an email, I could send them sort of more designated photos to do that. It would be something that isn't, I don't want to say it's not particularly hard to get to, but it would mean removing a fair bit of the cover and some of the foam to get to that, which would probably be sort of detrimental to our sort of presentation now. So, but more than happy if they want to drop us an email, that I can follow that up.
Someone's asked about assessments, home assessments.
So one of you has asked about home assessments. We're absolutely more than happy to come out and do any assessments required. We've got a dealer partner network in place now as well. So it doesn't matter where you are nationally, we've got this covered. So if it isn't us, it'd be one of our dealer partners. And absolutely more than happy to bring the chair out and do any assessments required.
Can you just explain the caster colours?
The casters?
Yeah.
So the casters, you might notice, I don't know if you can actually see from there, but we've got 3 red. The red ones, as I explained in the first instance, is a twin lock caster. So that locks on the wheel movement as well as the swivel. And then at the front, we've got a green top one. And that's actually what's called an inline caster. So that doesn't work as a brake. What it does do, if you get the chair facing forward and apply the lever onto the wheel, it'll actually mean that the actual chair will run and travel forward. More suitable, I'd say, perhaps in a hospital environment where maybe it's going to be travelling down long corridors, ward to ward and so on. Just means the chair's easier to deal with.
Just one more. Someone's just asked about the warranty. Is there a warranty for the chair?
There is a warranty. I mean, a standard sort of 12-month. We've got, I believe, a 2-year warranty on the frame. And then the covers and stuff for 12 months, which is sort of standard manufacturer's warranty. Again, information for all of that is actually on our website. We've got information about the chair, we've got the dimensions and a little bit more about the spec. The accessories that I've showed you so far are on the website. In fact, is that the end of the questions?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So that'll lead me into just briefly showing you what we've done here. So with the person that was talking about, seat widths. So we've kind of gone with this standard chair. We've chose a size that we know that goes through standard doorways so that we can easily get into people's homes and move about the home from room to room and stuff. So that was kind of important. But we do understand that there might be smaller people that might be kind of lost in this chair. So we've actually come up with a couple of bolsters. These bolsters are made out of Dartex, so that's the actual fabric, which you're probably aware is breathable, wipeable. But it works incredibly well with these bolsters. You'll see how sort of pliable that is. That's a 1 meter one. We've also got a 2 meter one. We've got a zip access, and they're only fibre filled. So it's the sort of thing that we tend to believe us probably overfilled. And I think most of you using them would end up taking some of the content out, or at least moving it around to kind of ply it into the sort of perfect position for the user. Now the 1 inch one can kind of go like so. You may not need or not want to use that, or maybe that's moved. That might want to be moved up into the arm. There's loads of options, and I will show you these in use later in our presentation. So that was the 1 meter one. This is the 2 meter one. So, and the advantage of the 2 meter one, just make sure that you can see there. So this one will tend to be used in this sort of fashion. I'm rotating that there because what I want to do is make sure that the zip is actually at the back of the chair and away from potentially from the user. But if you can imagine this one here, this one's going to offer lateral support down both sides, great neck and head support, and you could actually have the wings open one position with this, just to create a little bit more room in there for the user. But you can really make somebody feel incredibly comfortable, and you can also keep them central in the chair. So, but we're going to show you this in use when we get into using the hoist and the sling. What we're going to do is we're going to...
There's another question.
Oh, there's another question. Let's deal with the question. Yeah.
Say, Reed. You talk a bit more about, has it been pressure mapped?
It has been pressure mapped. To be fair, it was done a fair time ago. The response on the mapping was incredibly good, and the equipment was used, or the software that was used, was the Extensio equipment, which I still believe is used now. Look, my background, I've been in specialist seating for 30 years, and the mapping seems to go through trends. And I think that we've kind of got the feeling, or I've got the feeling, that we were kind of out of trend of that, because I think there's a lot of people that think that it could easily be manipulated to make it look better than it perhaps it really is. So, but look, we would welcome if anybody's got any equipment or they would want mapping done and they've got access to it at an assessment or anything like that. We'd certainly welcome anything like that. So, all questions? We can do another questions at the end if there's anything else that sort of comes up. But yeah, what we're going to do now, I'm going to bring Mandy. Ooh, you all right?
Hello, everybody. Okay.
Right, okay. Yeah.
I've got one of our slings on, which is the recline in situ recline. So for anybody that's been transferred with the sling, this particular sling, certainly it needs to remain in place because it'll be more tricky to get out. So we're just demonstrating with this particular one. But if we just apply it,
All right.
so I'm just going to hook up the legs And shoulders on yellow, please. Yeah. I'll have to help you with the other one.
Yeah, go around this side, go around here.
So just hooking it up to this, to our waist here. This is the an overhead one. I control that.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Let's go around the front, Andy, please.
Yeah.
So then just to transfer, just angle it a little bit so that you can see we're not blocking the. Okay, take your side first then, yeah. So I think Andy's, have you slightly tilted the chair?
I have. Yeah, we've got a little bit of angle. What does that look like?
Yeah.
Should be able to, I think we can see that okay.
So we've got this lined up, but in order to get my hips right back, just gently ease back the edges of the sling. And I can feel I'm right back actually.
Just move your head rest, in position.
We'll just undo it and then. So this sling is the in situ recline. So it's made in a Superfine Plus, which is a 3-dimensional spacer fabric. So it's lightweight. With it being a mesh, it's got some airflow. But because I'm now cocooned in the chair, it's going to be very difficult to get off. So if we're leaving it on, we've risk assessed that actually it's suitable to be left in. There's going to be no issues with that. Just tucking it away, actually, this seat for me enables us to actually fold. And I think Andy's just folded down the arms, so we tuck away the tapes. So literally it's as smooth as possible. There's no tapes that are going to be dangling or get in the way. And certainly
just bring the chair a little bit side on and then
just tuck the head support tapes back. So tuck them in the side and the wings. So it's as smooth as we can. Well, it feels incredibly smooth. But if you want to just explain what it looks like now from the
I'm
side.
just going to put a bit children's space on. Just going to bring your legs up a little bit. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, just going to basically explain. I'm just going to put some brakes on the chair now. And when I was talking about the access that the chair offers, I'm just going to try and make sure that I don't end up sort of covering the shot. But where I was talking about that you can, just this access now gives us the opportunity to firstly check that Amanda's position is really good, so that she's actually all the way back into the chair and she's getting some of the lumbar support. It gives us an opportunity when an in situ sling's being used that we visibly can't see any ruffling up, so that perhaps, you know, a nasty fold that the user could be sitting on. But it does give us the opportunity as well just to have a little tidy up here, make sure that everything's smoothed away here, and then we can click the arm into position. And it does hold all of that really, really nicely. I'm going to pop the brakes off again. The same here. So that's sort of folded out of the way there. And I'll bring the wing round to sort of cover that. So I know you guys really probably aren't going to appreciate, but how sort of nice and sort of clean that is down there. So, okay, so we'll use this opportunity now as well just to show you what we were talking about with the bolsters. So if we're just going to use one, what I normally do is open a wing just to give myself a little bit more access room. And as you can see, we can kind of apply this into kind of any position that really sort of suits the user. It could be that it might be more important that she has a connection with the arm and the elbows, or the forearms on here. There's a little bit more of a connection there, or just some lateral support. So that's the 1 in 1 meter. Just checking that. I think you can see that quite clearly. I'm just going to take this one out. We're going to put the 2 metre one in. Now what I tend to do is to lose the headrest for this one. You really don't need both. So like I say, the zip access, which we feel is really important because we want the users of these to be able to get into the content, move it around, get it really set up just where they want it to go. One point with these, I will mention this time of year, as I am out and about doing assessments, I tend to try and, certainly in a cold van, these tend to get really quite cold, as does the chair. So I tend to try and at least get these warmed up a little bit if I'm going to be practicing assessments, pulling somebody out of bed that's really toasty warm, and then they wouldn't be thanking me if I placed this cold cushion on them. So I get the seams on the inside, and then we'll just feed that down. Create maybe a little bit of a trough here. There you go, maybe go back there. And then again, feed these round. The idea for these, I wanted to make these as absolutely easy as possible. Right, just going to lose that just to get that out of the way. So we want that, yeah, this didn't need to be overcomplicated. This needs to be something that is really, really, really easy to use. It's also come, I suppose, from experience of going in and out of care homes or people's homes and finding rolled up towels, pillows, and a mixture of all sorts of things kind of wedged in to kind of do this sort of job. You know, at least these are kind of, I think that are going to feel so much better. They're easy to clean, they're breathable. They're just going to work so much better. The initial feedback on these has been really, really good. In fact, we've got people now that are asking them, or actually start to use them in beds. So they're using them as a positioning role on their own, and that's without the chair. So we're really kind of pleased with how those are going. So how do you feel, Mandy?
You want to relax, tilt me back a bit?
Yeah. So you just notice that I've got both wings open now. It's just really to kind of give Amanda a little bit more room here. With the wings in a closed position, you quite often find, certainly maybe where the users maybe like dementia and sort of sensory searching, that feeling of sort of connection with the chair actually really helps them feel grounded, and adding a footrest to that with the bolsters really kind of complements all of that. They get that whole sort of connection that they feel grounded and a lot of sensory feedback. So, all right, I'm just going to give a little bit more tilt in space. Actually, let me just see, this might look better from the side. All right, so we've got that position. I'm just going to use a little bit of the back.
Will it go in flatter?
It will go flat if you want to go lower. Yes. Yeah.
So it should be like a day bed.
Yeah, absolutely like a day bed. So you've got a sleeping position. Perhaps I would give a little bit more seat there, like that, just so that you've perhaps got a little bit more. Hopefully you guys can see that. I'm checking my monitor this end just to make sure that we're in shot properly. So, but look, even can be used like this. You don't have to be thinking if it's in this position, you need to be on the push bar. Just as easy to move from here. You can see that this is really, really easy to move. Again, if we needed to have any kind of access in the side, you might notice that I'm popping brakes on as I'm doing anything where I might be sort of changing something too much. But if we needed just to check any slings here, you know, same with this one, if we wanted to get in here, and just kind of have a quick look, just check that everything, that nothing's moved, that we're all still good. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but sling's looking great. You know, there's no wrinkles. I'm just going to fold this back up. Come around here. So you might notice when I'm folding this, I tend to put the webbing on the inside and then just do a little fold over. Just need something to keep hold of while you're putting the chair in position. So you need that to click on positioning these, just so you know the arms lock back in position. So in here, again, I'm going to fold under and fold round. Just going to bring the wing back into position there, and then reposition the position. Well, I think actually, Mandy, your head's come off that now. That's it. And brakes off. And we're mobile again. So, are there any more questions?
Just sit me up a bit, please.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Here we go. So, no more questions? So, thank you for joining us this afternoon. All the information on the chair is available on the website. We've got a downloadable flyer available. There's my contact details and customer service details, which you can contact us and arrange any assessments, demonstrations. We're quite happy to come out to OT groups and do sort of a lunch and learn day, let's say, or a demo day. Bring a selection of slings, the chair. We can do a sling shape session, kind of going through the top slings that we tend to use the most, and all of the designs and features with those, as well as doing a chair presentation as well. So we're quite happy to come out and do that. Again, if you want to drop any requests to customer services, we'll be happy to help.
There's just one question that's come through.
One question, yeah.
Can we see the tray being used with the chair, please?
Absolutely. So what I'm going to do, for the sake of the video now, I'm just going to show you. On the side, we've got a lock wheel. And then there's a hole on the front. So all I'm doing now is I'm loosening those, like so. And then the meal tray, I don't know if you can see that there. It's actually got a rim around the outside. The idea, obviously, that's going to try and catch something that may slip off. There's a small recess there for a cup. So, very straightforward, as you can see there. You need to get these trombone-shaped metalwork, and you feed one into one arm front there, and one into the other. Now that is adjustable, as you can see. We'll go further back, but for the sake of this now, nip that off there. And again here, we've got that now locked in that desired position. So great for not just for maybe a cup of tea and snacks, but great for activities, you know. So
Sitting up a bit.
Yeah.
Parallel.
Yeah.
With the seat.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
it's probably level now, isn't it? Yeah. Just going to rotate that a little bit. So let's get that out of the way. But yeah. Any more questions? No? We good? Okay, I think we're done. It's lovely to have everybody join us. Like I say, information now will be on the website. Customer service this end and myself are available for any questions or any follow-ups. Like that person that wanted some information about the air system, I'm kind of happy to go through that. I've got some images that I could send you, which would at least give you a better understanding of that. So, are we good? No more questions?
No.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Very much,
Thanks.
everybody.
Thanks for attending.